Welcome to Everything in Between.
We're a mother
and daughter
with a lot to say about, well,
everything. I'm Braelyn.
And I'm Lynn. And this is your show for perspective, real talk,
and feeling less alone in the chaos. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Woohoo. Monday fun energy?
Monday fun energy.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
Weird.
I feel like we should have a disclaimer on the episodes. It's a Monday episode. Lower energy. It's a Friday episode.
I'm feeling like Friday energy today. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. Something's in the air.
You do seem like
it's
Friday
warmer
energy
today. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Something's up.
Not me. My calendar was off today. I was off of my calendar.
Oh.
I almost messed up. Like I was 15 minutes late to a scheduled Zoom. Mm-hmm. And then that bumped another one where I was rushed and I didn't do a good job on either.
Yeah. That sucks.
I know.
I didn't do my weekly planning yesterday because I was out of the house all day.
Yeah.
So then I didn't do my weekly planning till this morning, and that felt weird.
Yeah.
But luckily my day was not busy today, so it didn't throw me off too much.
Yeah. So how's your day? That's ours. I'm Lynn.
I'm Braelyn.
Welcome to Everything in Between. Mm-hmm. Today's topic.
Yeah.
We cannot believe that we have not talked about mindset specifically.
I know. I feel like we kind of trickle in every single episode in some way or form, but we haven't had a mindset specific episode.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wonder where the word actually comes from, because it's like it mindset, like reverse it. It's like setting your mind.
Yeah.
So there's like action there.
It's intentional.
Right.
Very.
Right. So you had suggested maybe we define when we use that word, what do we mean?
Yeah.
When you talk about mindset, what does it mean to you?
I think it means this is tough, kind of the way that you choose to respond to things, to input, how you respond, how you're choosing to respond.
So you're putting it in some cases, it's about how you're responding.
Yes. It's everything is coming at you, right?
Yes.
But your mindset is how are you choosing to respond to that?
Okay.
Because people can have the same situation come at them.
Yes.
And respond entirely differently.
Correct.
And I think that's based on your mindset.
Yeah, I would think that's a big factor.
Yeah.
And so then mindset means what? Like what your mindset is.
Yeah. What, do you have a definition for yourself for it?
I think we used to say frame of mind.
Yeah.
What frame of mind? And so sometimes people would just say, well, I was not, and I didn't do well in that interaction because I wasn't in a good frame of mind. I didn't have a good mindset. So I knew I could have done better in that situation if I had had a better framing.
Yeah. I still remember the first time I learned about growth mindset versus fixed mindset.
Okay.
And that was a huge aha for me.
Where did you learn that?
I don't remember where it was or when it was. It was a while ago, but I remember being like, oh, I have a growth mindset. And that's why I think I struggle when it comes to dealing with people who have more of a fixed mindset.
That's 100%.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. On the previous episode, we had my friend of 50 years that was in here while we were recording. And I was talking to them last night and saying, this friendship isn't automatic just because we have that history. Because it could be that we both had fixed mindsets and one of us would have been growing and changing over the last 50 years and the other one staying back here. And then you wouldn't be able to connect at a deep level. And it'd probably be like, this isn't worth the work. We don't live in the same area.
Yeah. It's really hard, I think, to be super close to people when you have a growth mindset and they have a fixed mindset, because then they do see all of the growth that you go through as almost in a negative light.
Right.
like you're doing something weird or that's not normal, or, why are you changing?
Think you are?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever had that.
Like someone asked me that.
Right. Well, like I asked my friend last night, she's the youngest of 9 kids.
Wow.
And raised on a farm and in Ohio. She's the only one that got her secondary education and had a professional career to that level.
Yeah.
She was a college instructor and moved really far away from home. And everyone else stayed close to home, and some of them remained farmers, which is great. And some of them did other things. But I asked her, do they look at you, any of your siblings look at you as like,
Who are you?
who do you think you are?
Yeah.
And she said, oh, definitely. I said, what do you do with that? She goes, I don't interact with those.
Yeah.
I have a lot of them. And she said, I have some that I'm close to.
Yeah.
Because they've continued to grow.
Yeah.
And have that growth mindset. So that's another really good example.
Yeah.
On mindset.
Even in a partnership, I think too, it's so important that you are with somebody who has a growth mindset. Unless maybe you both have fixed mindsets, then you can go off and do your
what
own little
happens
thing.
there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't speak on that experience, but I think if you do have a growth mindset, it's so important to have a life partner that does as well.
Do you ever think about, sometimes I use the phrase stories that we tell ourselves, right?
Yeah, Brene Brown talks a lot about that.
Yeah, I am, essentially Brene Brown. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. No, but I will sometimes use that in coaching where I will somebody will just give this big oratory on why they think they know XYZ is going to happen. Or it's happening because, and then I can question them sometimes on like, there's a story there that you're telling yourself and what's around that.
Yeah.
Do stories become part of mindset? In your mind?
I think so, definitely. Because I think depending on your mindset, you're going to tell yourself different stories. Because if you think about
what about depending on your stories, you're going to have a different mindset?
Well, that too,
right?
It goes both ways. But if you think about it, like manifestation is also stories that you're telling yourself. They're just more on a positive spin versus the negative stories you might tell yourself. Like instead of saying, oh, this isn't going to work out, I'm not going to get what I want, flipping that and saying, everything is going to go great, I'm going to get exactly what I want. Those aren't that different at the end of the day, but it's the outcomes of them are wildly different.
Correct.
I mean, our thoughts, like you can't really trust any thoughts that you have at the end of the day. Just because you have a thought does not mean that is
thought.
true.
Correct.
And it might feel true.
It definitely can feel true.
And the stories can feel so true and real. But when you start to unpack them.
Somebody described it to me as that thoughts are sort of like these little clouds that are just blowing by you, right? And you can bring them in and invite them in because there are good ones.
Yeah.
And some of them you can just say, well
that's a
there
thought.
went that thought.
Yeah. That was an interesting one.
Yeah. And I think sometimes ones that are not necessarily good can be really tempting too. Like a little storm cloud can go floating by and you can jump on that train pretty quickly and pull that in and it can not be good.
I think sometimes it's easier to tell ourselves a story that helps us feel more comfortable, even when it's not true. Like people with a fixed mindset or somebody with a not great mindset might latch onto a story that things aren't going to work out for them. And why should I even try? Because I know it's not going to work out because they're like protecting themselves from
disappointment or
failure or
shame.
Whatever comes with that. So it's just easier to say, oh, it's not going to work out, so I'm not even going to try.
You've been the one sometimes in our family that somehow you were born with this, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know if you were born with it, but sometimes you, they say that it's just like Braelyn's Rainbow Land.
Yeah.
All of that kind of thing where in the past, I think they would frame it more as you were living in some fantasy world.
Like I was naive.
They call it your bubble sometimes.
Yeah.
And it was like you were naive.
Yeah.
They thought.
When I was younger, but then it didn't go away.
Right.
It didn't go away as I got older.
And I think the thing that I see in it with you is that rather than you're controlling outcomes, which sometimes that could be true, but
I don't feel
outcomes
that
are
way.
often involve other people and we can't control them.
Yeah.
Or situations. But it's like, no matter what happens, you're responding to it in a way that is saying, this is the best thing for me right now.
Yeah.
And so rather than like, it's got to go perfect. And then if it doesn't go perfect,
it's chaos.
it's going to throw you off.
Yeah.
You're like, no, this is the best thing for me right now. This is the right thing to be happening.
Yeah.
What is the lesson? Mm-hmm. That's like the mature version of where you were
as a kid
or even a teenager. Mm-hmm. Where how things went for you was how they were supposed to go.
Yeah. I'm also a big believer in like energy. And I do think that your mindset and how you expect things to go does have an effect on the outcome. So I think it's both.
There is science there.
I think it's energetically, I'm manifesting, if you want to say that word. Mm-hmm. I'm always manifesting the best thing for myself. But then obviously this is life. Sometimes things don't go the way that I want. When that does happen, I kind of pull back, like you said. I'm like, well, this is clearly what was meant to happen. Mm-hmm. So let's roll with this. Mm-hmm. There's no point in fighting it. People, I feel like, try to fight the things that happen. And if you can like surrender, like this is happening, mm-hmm. I can't change it. Why would I want to be upset about that? It's like unnecessary upsetness mm-hmm. because there's nothing you can do about it. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, well, the easiest thing to do is just like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing. Like, let's roll with it and try to find the best things out of it.
And where is the gift? Like, you can always say, that's another mindset you can have is in whatever happened to me that feels really negative and hard. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying don't be sad or whatever.
Yeah.
But where is the gift in this? And where is the learning in this?
Yeah.
And if I look back at, and you too, I'm sure, all of the hardest times are when you had the most growth.
Oh, yeah.
But you have to accept that.
Yeah. I always say too, like, disclaimer, I don't think that applies when it comes to like abuse or trauma.
Thank you.
Like, there's no reason why people are being abused. There's no lesson in that. There is no horrific situation.
Thank you for saying that.
But everything else, like, oh, you didn't get the job you wanted, mm-hmm. you didn't get the house you wanted, like your partner broke up with you, like situations like that. Mm-hmm. There is something to be learned in all of those.
Right.
And most people are just focusing on the loss instead of focusing on, okay, well, what can I do with this? What does this mean for me? Mm-hmm. What good can I bring out of this?
Mm-hmm. We were talking at lunch about, kind of the nature nurture thing. Like, and we don't get to know, like, is it just easier for you because of the way you were wired in your DNA that you saw the world through rosy glasses? Was that easier for you than other people? And you were raised in a loving home. So if you had been raised maybe in an abusive home or an alcoholic home, would you see things differently? We don't really know.
I have no idea.
Like, we don't know.
Yeah. I can say it truly feels like I've always been that way. Like I just see things through different eyes. Mm-hmm. There was a quote I put on my Instagram one time that my friend was like, oh my God, I love this. And it was when I was living in Tucson, and a lot of people were like, oh, Tucson is dirty. Tucson is so gross. Mm-hmm. Like, why would you want to live there? And I thought it was beautiful. And I like loved the mundane and, the power lines. And I was a photography student. I just loved that there was all of this like grime and yuck. And I like found beauty in that. Mm-hmm. But the quote was, the world is beautiful because I choose to see it that way.
That's really good.
And I think no matter, even if you're in this grimy, yucky place, like I would look at the way the sun hits, mm-hmm. this thing, and it's making these shadows, and it's like, wow, that's so beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like that's an analogy for like how I see everything.
Have you ever seen this video that's maybe 2 or 3 minutes long? And it's a person, the viewpoint is somebody's riding in a taxi in a very big city.
Oh, I have seen this.
And in the first time they show it to you,
it's chaos.
They're playing like chaotic music, and you get to the end of it and you literally like, feel tense and uptight.
Yeah.
And you just saw like people maybe fighting or
hustling and bustling.
All of that. And it was terrible. And then they play the same video with beautiful music that some of the things, like people are playing basketball in the park and it ends up being choreographed to this music somehow. I don't know how it's beautiful. And you end up all of a sudden, you see all those things that were happening in a different light.
Yeah.
And you don't see the grime and the hustle, and you see somehow these little snatches of beautiful moments that were in there that you missed the first time.
Yeah.
And just the music was changed.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
I feel like that's a really good
great
example.
mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of how you can just choose to look at things differently. And this is kind of a funny story, but one of the first times I did mushrooms, like a lot of mushrooms, I remember, this was so funny. I remember like seeing visually, like in my mind, a wall, like a jello-y wall, and I could go on either side, and on one side it was like dark and scary, and the other side it was like bright and beautiful. And I literally remember being like, well, I'm just gonna stay on this side. I'm just not gonna go over there. Like that exists, and I acknowledge it, and I saw like that was over there, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna turn my head and stay this way because this is what feels, more beautiful.
It's like another good example.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was very interesting. And I feel like that's your mindset. Are you choosing to look at the dark, or are you choosing, like, where is your focus? That they both exist all the time simultaneously, but which way is your head facing?
Which way is your head facing?
Yeah, which way are you
That's
looking?
a really good way to put it. Or I'm in the taxi.
Yeah.
And I'm riding through the streets, and what music is playing?
Yeah.
And how am I seeing what I'm looking at out there?
So I think that's mindset.
Okay, so because the word has, we could have looked it up and had the definition.
Yeah,
but
that's mine.
That would not be like us. But it has a word set, and all of a sudden that's popping out to me.
Yeah.
That it's something that you can set.
Yes.
That is what the word means by definition.
Yeah.
So that means there is action and intention around it.
Totally.
So if you just wake up in a good mindset, cool, off with your day. But what are some of the things that we can do when you sense my mindset is off, my framing is off
Yeah.
in this situation? What are some tools that you have?
This happens to me actually a lot. Like I'm not perfect, I have days where I don't have a great mindset. And I do one of two things. Sometimes it's caused by social media. So I just am maybe in like a bad mindset already. And then I start seeing all these other people do all these joyful things. And I'm like, screw all those people. Like,
Right.
That sucks. And I'm like, whoa, not a great mindset. So we're just.
But you have an awareness to go, whoa.
Yeah. Then I'll just pull off social media that day. Okay, this is not the day. Or, in business when you're like, why am I doing this? Everything sucks. My business is stupid.
Entrepreneurs,
why did I even start this business?
We're terrible.
I'm not helping anyone.
Everybody's
this is horrible.
stupid.
Yeah.
The
have
next
those
day
days.
you get up and you're like, we're crushing.
Yeah. So
it's amazing.
If it's caused by an external factor like that, I just pull back from that thing for the day.
That's a good one.
But a lot of times, if I just wake up and I'm on the wrong side of the bed and it just feels like everything is hard and everything is poopy, I meditate.
Okay.
It's just like pressing the reset button.
What's your meditation?
I just do like a little
look
10-minute guided on YouTube. I just search up like guided meditation for calm, for anxiety, for focus, like whatever I need.
Right.
And I do that, and it's just like a total reset. Even just 10 minutes.
Great one.
Yeah.
Really great one. The awareness is important.
It is, yes.
And I think that's where I started journaling last year.
Journaling is great
And
also.
I hated the thought of it for some reason.
A lot of people are resistant to journaling, I think.
Yeah. When I provided some prompts for myself and then I've given those to people I coach, they're like, well, I can do that. Right? I don't have to
Prompting
just
is
sit with a
easier.
blank paper.
It's like just trying to meditate by sitting in silence.
Yeah.
Versus like
Not gonna
having
work
a
for
little
most
help.
people that don't practice.
Yeah.
So my first question that I'm still using a year and a half later is, how do I want to feel today?
That's a great first journal
And
question.
I thought, that felt really flaky in the beginning. And now I'm like, no, that's when I'm setting that intention.
Yeah.
How do I want to feel today? And I usually say, centered, grounded, focused, whatever.
It's interesting that you mentioned it felt flaky Because
Yeah.
I feel like all of this stuff, if you're coming from somebody who has a fixed mindset or just you have a negative mindset
Like,
most
oh,
of the
that's
time,
nice for you.
it feels super cringe and stupid to even do any of this stuff. And you're like, how are these people doing this? Like, is everybody faking it?
They don't know my life.
And I
Right?
think that is so important to note, is that it does feel weird at first, and
that's
it
good.
feels cringe, and you might feel stupid. You might be like, this is dumb. Like, why am I doing this? But I think you have to push past that. It takes a little while because your brain is set in that mindset, you know, and that's part of the mindset, is like doing things to help yourself might feel stupid.
In our current day and age, yes.
Yeah.
5 years ago, when I started one of my first CEO peer groups, the very first speaker I brought in was Vered Kogan, who talks about heart mind mapping
Quick coherence.
and all of that.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of mindset
Heart
in
math.
there. Yeah. And she has the science behind it, the neuroscience behind it, everything. So she's doing this, and I'm sitting there in this room of people I've only had for a couple of meetings. And I'm looking around going, I wonder what the hell they're thinking.
Yeah.
Like, what did I get into? My favorite experience from that is this Canadian hockey player guy that was like in manufacturing. And he's a sweetheart, but he has this kind of rough, tough side that you think. And he was just sitting there. And after 3 hours of this workshop, he raised his hand and he said, I have a question. I was like, oh boy. He said, how is it that I have never heard this before?
Yeah.
And why isn't everybody living like this?
Yeah.
If this is, and I'm buying everything you're saying. You gave me the science. I've done the exercises today. I felt the difference. And now I'm just blown away that this is not how everyone is living. And we had to kind of show him that he was already making a choice that was rare, to put himself in a room of peers as a leader.
Yeah.
That's a very small percentage of people are doing that.
To help themselves be better
To help
leaders.
themselves. So I said, that right there. He said, okay, that's fair. And then even when you get into that setting, there's just people who don't have the awareness around what this can do. And his life was changed that day.
Yeah, that's pretty
He
cool.
had teenage sons, and he went home and started teaching this stuff to them. He did a full-on course with Vered Kogan to really learn it and embrace it. And he's a different person.
Yeah.
So he had a growth mindset when he went in there. He could have had it fixed and said, this is baloney.
This is not for me.
Instead, he was like, you just opened my eyes.
Yeah.
And then how is everyone not living like this?
I think that's the coolest part about having a growth mindset, is that you are always open.
That's all that it is.
Yeah, you're open to being better, to better ways of living, to finding ways to just make life more enjoyable. Whereas a fixed mindset, you might say, well, I was born into this. This is the way it's always been. There's no way for me to get out. There's no way for me to change.
I've tried this. I've tried
done this.
this.
I've done this. I've
Your
done this.
life
I've
is
done this.
easier.
Nothing has worked. You just got it easy. You have privilege, blah, 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 blah. But anyone can change their mindset.
Right.
From fixed to growth. But it takes, I mean, there's probably some science around how to do that. You can Google that, there's probably a YouTube course, how to go from fixed mindset to growth mindset.
Right.
But it takes that little seed, somebody planting a little seed of something to go, well, maybe this isn't the way it has
That's
to be.
all it has to be.
It's one little seed.
And do you ever find yourself slipping into fixed mindset?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So
I mean,
it's not
sometimes
an
life is
switch.
hard and something is frustrating. And like I said, you have those bad days where you're like, why am I running this business? This is stupid. Why did I start this? And then you're like, whoa.
Whoa.
Let's pause, let's pump the brakes for a second there. Because it's outside of your norm. But I do think it can feel so cringy at first, trying to think about
Because
having
you're
more
thinking,
of a growth mindset.
if this were true, it might be a lot of what Brett that day was saying. If this were true, then everybody would be living like this, and we'd be in more of a utopia than we are. And that's false thinking. That's not true, because it's not easy.
Actually, I do know some facts around this. Evolutionarily, our brains, and I might have learned this from Vered, are hardwired to remember bad things like more vividly, because if you think about when we were like living hunter-gatherer style, you would want to remember that last time we did this, a tiger attacked us.
Right.
Last time this happened, like we lost half the tribe because we made this bad decision. So whoever I learned this from, I don't remember, said it's actually going against your human nature to try and remember the good things more than you do the bad things. It's like a rewiring of your brain that is unnatural because we're so hardwired to really latch on to the bad stuff that happens.
Because that's the only way you live.
Yeah.
That's how you survive.
That's how you survive.
We no longer have tigers.
We don't need to do that anymore.
Correct.
You don't need to remember that last time your boss called you in the office, you know, they reprimanded you. Like it's not quite the same, but it's like going against the nature of our human brain. So it is harder. That's why everybody's not living that way, because it's not the default.
Right.
The default is, I remember everything that happens to me that sucks, and next time this happens, I'm going to think about the time that what happened sucked. It's not like, well, maybe this time it'll be better.
Right.
That takes effort.
It does.
A conscious effort.
Yeah, it really does. Amazing. And some of it, I think, too, is physical. So if you're caring for yourself, the connection between your physical health and your mind is huge.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, don't underestimate the power of a walk.
A walk is life-changing.
Right? And it can be a really short walk.
Yeah.
And if you find yourself saying, yeah, but I have 4 kids when I get home from work, and and I don't have time in my calendar. I would say, yeah, but everyone can find time for a 5-minute or a 10-minute walk.
There was a woman in our Vistage group when we had the sleep scientists come in, I think it was. It might have actually been Verid, who talked about like one tiny thing that you can do. And she was like, I have 4 kids. I am this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. She goes, but I'm going to commit to standing outside in the morning in the sun for 5 minutes. Do you remember this?
I do.
And when we came back the next month, she was like, I did it. And it was so impactful and so helpful and like really help. So it can be something so tiny.
And even the fact that the fixed mindset would say, I have the kids, my pressure, you know, there's too much time pressure. So what it did was actually just changed her mindset.
Yeah.
The sun is powerful. The 5 minutes is powerful. But what's more powerful is knowing that I can make a change and do something different today than I did yesterday. It's really true.
There's this TikTok sound that people use that goes, you must break the pattern or the loop will begin again tomorrow.
Wow. Right.
You must break the pattern or the loop will begin again tomorrow. And it just repeats that over and over.
Wow.
And I find that's kind of similar because you literally have to, when it comes to changing your mindset, you have to interrupt a pattern that you might be deeply ingrained in and set in, and you might think it's impossible to interrupt. But it's like that woman choosing to spend 5 minutes doing something different.
That was pattern interruption.
Pattern interruption.
At its best.
And then the loop doesn't repeat tomorrow.
So that's a huge mindset shift or mindset tool, I think, is interrupt the pattern.
Yeah.
Even with something very small.
So small.
And so if you're sitting or you're wherever you are and you notice that your mind has gone down some trail and if you have any tiny bit of awareness, get up,
break the pattern,
move, change where you're sitting. If you're outside, go inside. If you're inside, just change something. Interrupt that pattern.
Yeah.
Even if you don't remember the breathing exercises or a meditation or doing anything any more than interrupt the pattern of where you are, because your mind does continue to just loop.
Yeah. And I think even if it is something as simple as changing where you drink your coffee in the morning, it shows that you can be the catalyst for change. Even when you feel like you can't. You are still in control at the end of the day.
Right.
Even when it feels like you have no control. Because I think a lot of people with fixed mindset feel as if their life is happening to them.
Right.
That they have no control over anything.
Right.
Well, all of this is happening.
Right. Why is it happening to me?
Yeah.
I look at everybody else. It doesn't seem like anything is happening to other people.
The same things are happening to everyone.
Right.
People are just responding
You know what I
differently.
like to say sometimes, and it's probably not very nice?
What?
You're not that special.
Yeah.
That you're being targeted for all the bad things to happen.
Yeah.
You're not that special.
The bad things are happening to everyone.
The
You're
things
just
are
reacting
happening
differently.
And then how are we even labeling them?
It reminds me, we talked about this a little bit at lunch, of whenever my husband and I have had like financial troubles, it's like, I don't worry and I don't freak out, and I'm not like, oh my God, why is this happening to
you
us?
just buy
Like,
less
this
stuff.
is the worst. Like, I just react completely differently and respond completely differently. And then it becomes a non-issue. Because if you're dealing with a hard situation, I remind myself of this all the time. If you're dealing with a hard situation, you know what doesn't make it easier?
Thinking about it.
Freaking out about it.
Right.
You know what's easier to solve? The hard situation when you're not freaking out.
Right. That's the whole thing about the capacity of the brain to solve things.
Yes.
Is diminished when you're in a negative cycle.
Yeah, what do they say? You're literally 40% more stupid when you're mad.
You're literally stupider.
Yeah, when you're mad.
When you're upset.
40% less cognitive function.
And when you're afraid.
When you're upset. Yeah.
Afraid and angry. Right. And look
So
at...
cool off. You're allowed to be upset.
Sure.
You can get upset, but like, if my financial troubles were 3 months, am I going to be upset that entire 3 months?
Right.
No, I might have a moment where I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I'm like, okay, let's pull back a second. Let's take a look at this. Is this actually going to be okay? What actions can I do to help this?
Right.
What things can I do to help this?
Right.
And then once you figure that out, you don't have to be angry anymore. You don't have to be like, oh, this happened to me. This is horrible. You're just mad at the world. Like, that's kind of stupid. That's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, if you do that one, then the next time anything happens,
You're going to get
you're
mad
sort
again.
of living in this state of continual anxiety. And I mean, you actually have control over your social media feeds too.
Yeah.
If you start following and reading people that are giving you positive affirmations.
Oh,
and,
you can totally flip the switch on that.
Right. And mindset shifts and all
You
those
can
things.
mute words
Yeah.
on your feeds.
Yeah.
You can reset your TikTok feed and then search up only good, happy, positive affirmation mindset things. And you don't have to be looking at people who are complaining all the time or, saying the world is pretty terrible.
What news do you
but
read?
you don't have
I know.
to ingest that on a cycle 24/7.
That's right.
Yeah.
Another tool for me that works is I tend to wake up with quite a bit of cortisol pumping through my veins.
It's highest in the morning, so
And
that
it
makes
is-
sense.
Yeah, and I think even the blood type diet is like my blood type. The
has more
cortisol is the
cortisol.
highest at 8 a.m. or something like that, or between 6 and 8 a.m. And so I will wake up with that. And I always say, like, when I'm prone,
Like laying down.
when I'm laying down, things seem really difficult. And I snap it in the bud now, but I used to just lay there
Ruminate?
and ruminate, and then I'd get up and I'm already at like a high
You're, like, all
stress,
tight
anxious
in
level,
there.
and I'm tight. And now it's pretty quick for me to realize, no, I'm prone. And for me, when I'm laying flat, it's the thoughts don't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's not how I live life. And the thoughts don't even sound like me.
Yeah.
Then as soon as I get up,
It's better.
100%.
That's so funny.
And, and then some of the things that I'm able to do because my schedule allows is I get outside immediately, no matter the weather, hot or cold. We adjust the clothing and we walk.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, if we get up and don't do that, we're like snapping at each other. We're like grumping about the day. Like, it can just go south for us. And we never even think about the reset that is immediately with the sun and the fresh air or whatever, the wind, the rain, whatever it is. That is this tremendous reset. And it can be 10 minutes. We have time for 30. It's just kind of one of those things that is like getting up, and even if you're standing outside on your porch for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or you're jumping up and down, or just free flowing, dancing to some music in the shower, whatever
Yeah.
it is, your body just will release a lot of that rather than kind of internalizing it and just saying, well, I woke up with all these negative thoughts today. Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Lots of us who are very positive people wake up with negative thoughts in the morning.
Yeah.
And I think some people just don't realize that because they see maybe people that live the way they think you and I live, and they're like, it's just easy for them and their life is great and nothing has ever been hard. And so therefore they're just going to be these bundles of joy.
Yeah.
If my life were like theirs, I would also be happy. And I would say, you don't know what's behind the curtain. And I shared once with my group that I wake up with anxious thoughts. And a couple of them were like, you've got to be kidding me. They had no clue.
Yeah.
And it made them feel so validated.
Yeah.
You know, that somebody that they look at as being as positive and basically regulated that I wake up with anxious thoughts.
I'm like backwards of you. It's so funny. I'm like final day and the night hits.
Yes.
And that's when my crash hits. And it's like, that's when I'll have like, I've had depression before, but I would say like little depressive episodes where I just start to feel really apathetic.
Okay.
And I'm like, nothing matters. Everything is stupid. Like, and I just want to like sit and stare at a wall. You don't want to do anything.
At what time of night? Like when you're in bed or like as the
No,
evening
like
comes
once
in?
the sun sets.
It's the sun, I think.
For me, the sun is huge. It is like I am, maybe I came from the sun. And so I'm deeply connected to it. So yeah, when the days are short and the sun sets, then I'm like, nothing matters. Everything is stupid. And it's hard. It's not. So I feel like it's the same. People see this bubbly, you know, extroverted exterior and they just think, oh, she's like that all the time. Oh, you know, like sometimes you'll call me and you'll be like, why do you sound like that?
Because you're like, hello.
Yeah, because that's the vibe that I'm in is like all of the energy for the day is gone. The sun is setting and I'm just like,
It's all just shit
Why
now.
do I even try?
Well, actually, you know, if you want to go back to humans, you're supposed to be in bed.
Yeah, when the sun sets.
Yeah, they slept when it was dark and they got up when it was light.
Yeah, or had a fire, right?
Yeah.
Campfire time.
Fire. Well, have you tried campfire time?
No.
Okay.
Actually,
that would
usually
be fun.
My evening ritual, if I'm feeling this way, is I will take a shower, like a long one.
Oh, yeah.
Recently, I started showering at night because my husband's cousin lives in Japan, and when they were staying with us. He had his wife who's from Japan, and they shower at night. And we were talking to them about it. Like, even if it's like 1 or 2 in the morning, like they come home, they shower. That's like their before bed ritual.
Wash the day off.
And that is what they were saying. They were like, it's custom in Japan to like wash your day off. And so that kind of, I was like, I really like that idea. So if I'm feeling in a funk, which is like a lot of times at night, I will take a long shower and I have like a little shower lamp. So I don't have
nice.
the overheads
Have you ever
on.
done a shower by candlelight?
That's basically what this is.
So fun.
And I have a little lamp in my bathroom so I don't have to turn the overheads on.
You do not want the overheads.
And I play like lo-fi music and I take a long shower and then I like, you know, do some self-care, maybe like a mask or like a lather. And then I literally just lay on my bed. Like,
and is it good?
And I just like deep breathe and I like have the little lo-fi on and then I always feel better.
Nice. I love that. I think that your dad has a little bit of that nighttime.
The nighttime, yeah. You get weird. I get weird at night.
So campfire time is from Jacob Roper, who is a sleep expert, and he's done a lot of scientific studies, and he says that we're supposed to be in bed.
Low light.
Yeah, at night.
For your circadian.
Yeah, for the circadian rhythm, humans go to bed when it's dark, they get up when it's light. So if they are up, the light was campfire.
Yeah.
So he talks about how to even train your family into that once it's dark, you go into this campfire mode where everything's a little calmer.
And you can even, like, if you have smart bulbs, he said, turn them to like red or orange to a different, and like lower them.
I put my electric fireplace on.
Yeah. Turn all the overhead lights off.
Exactly. And then you can make it kind of fun. And even if it's the winter and you're cold, you can be like, I'm going to get a blanket and some hot cocoa, because that's what you might do around the fire.
And like have low light.
And have low light, and you call it campfire, and then it's exciting instead of being depressive.
Kids or something. Yeah. You're like, okay, kids, campfire time after dinner, you know, low light mode.
Yeah.
I like that. He also said, just a fun fact, if you want to reset your circadian rhythm completely, go camping for a week.
Yes. You will, because he has people that are like, well, I'm a night owl. And he goes, there isn't any such thing.
Yeah.
He said people's sleep will shift a couple of hours on circadian rhythm, but nobody is designed to be awake at night.
Yeah. So he said if you go camping, you will reset.
The other thing you can do is have babies, because they naturally go on the circadian rhythm. And they're awake when it's light and they go to sleep when it's dark.
Yeah.
And if they put them into your rhythm, they're going to be very fussy.
But campfire time is interesting because that's kind of like a mindset. a little mindset switch
100%
around like,
right?
we're going to make this fun.
Yes.
We're going to,
because some kids don't like bed and they're, but it's like,
I hate going to sleep.
I don't know anybody that doesn't like a campfire.
I still literally hate going to sleep.
But maybe you try the campfire time.
I have Pixar movie time is what we do.
Well, that can be it.
Because I hate getting into bed.
Okay.
So we
always did.
We always get into bed and then there's a small 30-minute activity.
Okay.
So that might be watching half of a movie. That might be
you have it
playing our
timed?
video games.
That's so
like,
cute.
Roughly 30 minutes. That might be reading our book. But my husband and I are always doing the same thing. And we kind of rotate between like, okay, we're in a reading phase. We're going to read every night. But then it's much easier to get into bed because like, oh, I have my little activity. Because I hate going to bed.
Also, if you've had the shower, like in the
it helps your
evening,
sleep.
yeah, but then you're ready to go to bed when it's time and it's not a bunch of things to do.
Yeah.
When I got to wash my face, I got to brush my teeth, I got to do all the things.
I
like
love
that's
being
hard,
able to
but
go from upstairs to my couch and literally go upstairs and just get in my bed.
Yeah.
Because I've already done all the things.
I read these books years ago, and it was like How to Live Beautifully or something like that. And this woman lived in New York, and she had this routine that was kind of like the Japanese. She would get home from work and get into the bath.
Oh, yeah. That is the best.
The work clothes came off, and
Yep.
it was like, for her, it was like, work is leaving me, because she
Yes.
only had a short walk. She didn't have an hour drive.
Yeah.
So she gets home and she's like cleansing her day.
Yep.
And maybe it's 10 minutes, literally. And then it's into the comfy clothes that tells your body, I'm home. So you're just, I think the setting is like so cool.
Yeah.
It's mindset, but there's things that you do. It's an active thing. It's not just plunked down upon you.
No.
You have a great mindset, Braelyn.
No.
You were
It's
just
work.
born with it. Lots
It's
of work.
Yeah.
So much
And
work.
it feels
and so worth it.
It feels almost like you wish that you could tell that to everybody because people that just see you and think like, oh, well, you're just like that. It's like,
I mean, you can say, if they say, how are you so positive? You can say, I work at it every day.
true.
And you can tell them instead of like, I was just born this way.
Do you know what you can't do though?
What
that
is
we
that?
didn't talk about? You can't really change other people's mindsets.
You cannot. It's your own.
Yeah.
Now, maybe for a different topic, or we refer to one of Vera Kogan's podcasts, there is the energy field that you can send, and you can
Yes.
shift energy something like 6 feet out.
10.
And if you get more people,
Measurable at 10 feet, MIT has measured. They suspect it goes worldwide.
right. And they have studies around
Because
this.
they think about,
and
like,
now
the
this
moms-
sounds super foo-foo.
The moms that wake up at night and their kids in Europe and they call their child because they know something weird happened. They can feel it. Yeah, that does sound foo-foo, but MIT has measured that.
There's lots of studies.
Yeah.
We're not
that
going to
you
quote
can
them.
affect people's energy.
Right.
But you cannot change their mindset.
Right. But energy can help mindset.
I will say though, when my husband and I have been together for a very long time, and he's always been way more pessimistic than me. And I'm like stupidly optimistic. Like
Yes.
sometimes I'm almost to a fault. And he was always very much so like a negative Nancy. He's not that way anymore. But one time he did tell me when we were like in high school, he said, I will never have a lust for life like you do.
Interesting.
And I think that is completely changed.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now you have to go home and ask him.
I would say that is not how he feels at all anymore. And I don't know if it's just from being around somebody like myself all the time. Like, right, I'm going to rub off on you a little bit.
You do become like the people you hang around, which
Like-
is why it's difficult for
you
both
can't
of us to be around
force
people.
them.
No, you can't.
You can just say, maybe you can open their eyes and they can make a decision with what they're going to do with that.
You certainly can't drill it into
You
them.
cannot force them, but it's interesting because I do think that I have rubbed off on him in that aspect. Like I would go as far as to say he's not pessimistic. He definitely is not as optimistic as I am. In some situations, he has been very like I'll say something. He's like, "It's going to work out great," and I'm like, "Who are you?
What just happened?
Where did that come from?
What just happened?
But I do think that it's like I've rubbed off on him a lot in that way because he was not
So
always
that
like
phrase that you can rub off on someone.
Yeah.
That's proven, and people birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
Like you do become like those that you surround yourself with. So that is why it can be really challenging to be in a group of people.
Up to them, though.
Yes,
they have to say, that looks like a nicer way to live. They're always happy. They're always feeling good. Maybe I should try that.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
And that is the beginning of not having a fixed mindset, because now they're starting to question.
The seed, all it takes is a little tiny seed.
Little tiny step.
Yeah.
Just open the window.
What's
a little
the
bit.
phrase that in order to want to learn about something new, you just need like the tiniest amount of curiosity?
That sounds like a good phrase right there.
Something like that. It's like they've studied it. In order to learn anything new, you literally just need like the smallest amount of curiosity about it.
I like that.
Which maybe this will plant some seeds in people's brains.
I hope so. Be great to hear in any of the comments on these clips if you have mindset tools to shift that we didn't talk about. And we certainly didn't pull all of ours out of our toolbox, but we would love to hear.
If you've gone from one side to the other, and what that's been like. Definitely is possible.
I do know for me, as someone who works at mindset, it's very important that I don't try to fix the people around me who are not at that spot. It's really hard.
It's so hard. And I also, one of my top traits is developer.
Right.
Which means I want to
teacher
help
too.
develop people.
I know.
Oh my God, it's exhausting because it's like as a developer, I can see the potential in everyone. And it's so frustrating when people just aren't seeing it themselves.
I think that you have some really good coaching ahead of you. And by that, I mean the right kind of coaching with the right kind of people.
Yeah.
That you would do, because
I could totally see that.
That's a piece of you.
Yeah.
I was going to talk to you about that today at lunch, but I forgot.
It's also why I'm excited to be a parent, because there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
You get to do a lot of developing.
Yeah. It's largely teaching.
Yeah.
Very cool. I love that. This was fun.
That was fun. I
And
can't
we
believe
really
we hadn't
didn't
talked
talk about
that.
this.
It's wild.
Watch, we'll go back. Episode 2.
Maybe it was the first episode.
I don't know.
I don't remember
No, that was
either.
Mouse and Cookie taking a first step.
Yeah.
So
well, this can be the first step in possibly changing your mindset.
Really cool. Yeah.
And knowing that, I feel like the big takeaway is that all of the people that you know are doing well because they're working really hard at it.
That's really true.
And it's going to feel funny at first when you start that.
And people are always shocked to hear that if they look at you as a generally positive, happy person, that there could be some really difficult situation
You're still
happening
struggling
in your
with
life.
all the same stuff.
You don't even know. They don't know.
The same things are happening to everyone. We're all just reacting a little differently to it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your obsession?
I have a great one.
Okay.
My older sister went to the gem show recently in Tucson, which is the largest gem show in the world, and got me a 32-ounce deli tub
It is a deli tub
of raw shea butter
from Africa.
from Africa. And it is like, I mean, it's like a rock. Like, it is a solid, you could like beat somebody off over the head with it and it would hurt them.
Why did you throw that in?
I don't know, just to emphasize, it is like she set it
it's like
down
a
and I was
rock.
like, what is this? She's like, that's your shea butter. And I am somebody who lotions a lot. And I hate that with lotion, you put it on and for like an hour, you're like, oh, my skin is so moisturized. And then it's gone. And so I was constantly reapplying lotion. So she got me this. And like, I'm telling you, I will put it on and then I can get in the shower the next day. And even after the shower, I can still feel it. Like, it is crazy. So it's been awesome. It's going to last me forever.
We got so excited about this that we came
Wanted to start
up
a
with
business,
a plan where
yeah.
we're going to sell the shea butter.
Yeah.
And she has a distributor and it's going to be amazing.
But yeah, it's like, I'll never use lotion again. Plus, it's one ingredient. You could eat it.
Yeah.
You can use it on pets. You can use it on kids.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's like the best.
Yeah.
It does leave you feeling a little greasy, but I don't care. That, and I went to the Renaissance Festival yesterday.
Yeah.
You know how much I love rose stuff.
That's true.
Like, if I can find a beauty product scented in rose, I will buy it. Like, so much of my stuff is rose. Well, they have these little oil and incense ladies, and I bought a rose oil in like a roller. So I've just been like lathering it on my whole body. And like my perfume, I spray perfume on and in like 10 minutes, I can't smell it.
right.
It's gone.
It is gone.
Other people can smell it, I'm sure, but I don't get to enjoy the perfume. With this, like I'm smelling it right now. I'm smelling it all day. every time I move, it wafts through the air. Like it is, it's so
You get
good.
low energy tonight.
Oh, it's so nice.
Rose oil.
Smell is huge for me. It makes me feel so good. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what's your obsession? Did you think of one?
Yeah, I did. I don't know if I would call it an obsession. It's like an awareness around how much I enjoy live music events. And I'd love to go with your sister because she's just a blast.
She's a concert fiend,
She
too.
is. If you have not been to a concert with her, you're missing out on a really cool piece of life. But we went to see Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, just looking around at the joy
it's
that
so
people
great.
have when they're at an event like that. And, it's like whatever their life was that day, everyone's just in there.
Forget it at the door.
So happy.
Yeah.
And it does so much for me. Like, I enjoy the music too, but for me, it's really like being in this atmosphere.
It's a collective.
Yeah, it's a collective.
Everybody's
It's
10-foot energy field is feeling great.
It's insane how
Yeah.
good that feels. It's like the biggest hit of dopamine.
Yeah.
And she did provide us with earplugs because one of the worst things is like the ringing later.
Lady
And
Gaga or Joanna?
Joanna.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we stopped and got the earbuds and put those in, and you could still hear really well.
Yep.
But then when it was over, there was no ringing.
You're not giving yourself
at all.
hearing damage.
And I just get, I worked in the live event industry. We did software for that.
Yeah.
And I know very much
How
how
hard everyone
important
works.
live events are
Yeah.
to our psyche and our well-being. And it's been happening since, and
The
we just
dawn of
finished the
time.
Olympics.
Yeah.
And like, I've always just loved that. And I think realizing that, is kind of just an awareness for me to make sure that
You're
I
doing
get
that.
enough of those events, and they don't all have to be as big as, the Lady Gaga show.
Yeah. I've seen Lady Gaga. She rocks.
Her whole thing was like a rock opera.
Yeah,
if you haven't
she's
seen
amazing.
this tour, and it's still out.
Yeah.
Go see that shit
Yeah.
because she does it like an opera.
That's
and
cool.
basically tells a story, and the costuming is insane.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it just is. It is the collective. You describe it well.
The collective energy.
Yeah. And so that's another pick me up. And just if you're feeling like the world is dark and everything's hard and it's all falling apart and
to a
everything's going to
concert.
hell, freaking go to a live event of some kind.
Yeah.
Go to a sports event, go to spring training, go to a concert, go to the theater. I sit in symphony and
Yeah.
you just feel good.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a fun
That's
one.
fun. Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening. I'm
Thanks.
Lynn.
I'm Braelyn.
It's everything in between.